Hi, welcome to this clip in which Vagrein helps to reframe what reality truly is. If you've ever been in a situation where you've been doubting yourself or doubting your metaphysical gifts or doubting whether or not something is coming from the inside or the outside of yourself, then this clip is for you. I would love to hear what you think about it at the end. So please make sure to leave a comment and let me know if this type of content is resonating with you. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel and tell your friends. Why not? It would be wonderful to have more and more people who are enjoying the Vagrein content. Sending you all my love and enjoy.
I do have all these questions that keep coming up into my conscious mind of whether the experiences are real, whether the real in the sense of that it's not manufactured by my own psyche, but that they're connecting to something that's deeper than that, and how to discern, and ultimately how to satisfy my critical mind and to be able to relax into it.
So first, we will say there's not a single thing that you can experience in your human experience that is not a product of your own brain and psyche. In that, you do not actually directly interact with anything in what you call reality, but you react with your own brain's processing of that thing. There is no such thing as the color red. There is no such thing as your mother. All of these things are in your brain response to stimulus that you have decided to process in that certain way. Another being, or for example, an animal on your planet sees your mother and perceives of it in a completely different way. And another animal, again, perceives of the color red, or would have a object that you saw as red and would perceive of it through their brain, through their conscious and subconscious aspects in completely different ways. So this can alleviate slightly, and we know your critical mind is still desiring, but at least slightly, the concept of is it real? Because ultimately nothing is. Every single thing you have contact with is a decision that you are making, either consciously or subconsciously, to perceive of it in that particular way, to label it in that particular way, and to have interaction with it in that particular way. You have a collective consciousness. You have created this collective consciousness, which does have this habit of coming to consensus on arguments, saying this is real and this is not. This is true and this is false. But if you look through the history of humanity, you will also see that there were times in which you believed that the sun was a god. It is, by the way. And other times when you simply think it is a ball of gases and fires that miraculously, but without even observing the miracle, keeps you all alive and in perfect orbit. You have also seen moments in time in which humans have certain perceptions of what is good for you, what is bad for you, and all of these, in the exact moment in which they were labeled as real, were 100% accurate. So, since there is so much flexibility within your reality to create whatever it is you are wanting to create, and yes, there is that consensus or that majority rule in which people say, yes, this is real, yes, this is not real, or no, this is not real, then what you can do is begin to understand your role in what you are calling reality. We know that you are one of those beings that is here on this planet in this right now moment that is not entirely fond of the reality that has been created around you. Not entirely fond of the systems and structures that are in place in this now. Is your education system currently real? Yes, it is. Is your war system currently real? Yes, it is. Is your financial system currently real? Yes, it is. Is separation consciousness currently real? Yes, it is. But that does not mean that you would like it to be real tomorrow, does it? Therefore, acknowledge the fact that you might just be one of those people that does not adhere, does not vote for, does not support, does not validate the current reality as it is. You also know there is a psychological gravity occurring in human beings in that you have not focused on happiness, you have not focused on joy. You have focused on the reality of your scientific perception of how the brain works, and it is making you all absolutely miserable. Far more miserable than perhaps other cultures or other moments in your time in which you were focused on joy and dancing, community, love, and interaction. But no, you can reduce love down to chemicals that flood your brain when you are aroused. You can reduce sorrow down to imbalances in the neurons firing in your brain. And you can reduce something such as what your channeling is to simply your subconscious playing tricks on you. The truth is that you get to decide the world that you are ushering in.
Would there be a particular approach for me to be able to continue exploring channeling that feels more natural, that I will have less resistance to? Any suggestions or tips?
Yes, well, first, identify why you have resistance to it. So, what is the worst that can happen?
The worst to me would be that I would be fake in some way.
Does it feel fake to you?
When I've experienced this um, altered state, it feels real in the moment, but later, a day or two or three later, I start having doubts.
If it is real in the moment, and you have not consciously decided to be fake, then the doubts are what you could call a residue or some level of hangover that are not there to tell you that it was fake, but to allow you to unpack those doubts more cleanly, shall we say. The doubt is there because you are about to go into the next level of what you are experimenting with, and your psyche, in this case it is, your doubts are your psyche, your subconscious, is asking you, are you sure? Are you sure that you would like to move to the next level? All you have to do when you are faced with doubts is answer that question. Are you sure? And many of you, because you believe doubt has a significance outside of that question, take the doubt itself as the answer to the question. It is not. Doubt is simply a question to you. Do you want to continue on this path? Does this particular path feel good to you or not? So, when doubt arises, it does not need to have so much focus or attention in that you say, well, here's doubt, therefore I must have been fake. No, the doubt is simply there to put a little bit of space between you and your next decision so that you can make an informed choice that is from your sovereignty and is from what your heart is truly desiring. So you would not be in the position you are if you were full of ego. In other words, this caution in and of itself is proof that even if there is some level of you that wants to be special, which of course there is, all of you do, by the way, this desire to be, quote, special is even more potent in those who actually are special, believe it or not, because the ones of you who have been a little bit different your whole lives have been told to repress that, have been told to not be special, have been told to fit in line, to be different than what you are. So, of course, there is some sort of yearning and longing towards returning to self. You are odd, different. We can use the word special. But the reason why is because of what we spoke of earlier. You have not come here to follow the crowd. You have not come here to go along with the plan. You have come here to shift it. Part of you has this desire. It is natural for you to have this desire. You can call it ego. You can call it what you would like. But the ego ultimately is not a negative thing. It is part of your system of existence. You would not be a human without some level of ego. It is what gives you the ability to individuate. And so, no reason to worry too much about whether or not your desire to channel is based upon something external or internal. It need be both. You cannot be a channel if you do not have interest in it or if you do not have the ability to do it. Self-acceptance is part of the game here. So if we were even to tell you, yes, there's ego, yes, there's desire to be special, yes, you do want the attention or whatever it may be, there is absolutely nothing wrong with any of those energies. You are on a learning journey in collaboration, both with yourself, your higher self, and with energies that perhaps have the inkling that if you were to open up, could have access to come through you. Yes. Anyway, it doesn't matter because this is part of your soul contract. You will rub up against your life and have it shape and form you, and you will shape and form it in exactly the correct ways possible. So allowing yourself to say, you know what? It doesn't matter if this is external or internal. It doesn't matter if this is ego or some sort of divine calling. All that matters is that I am me. Will be the only way for you to be authentic, which was what we believe you said you wanted to be in terms of this. They're available to you in that this is part of one of the motors that you have. Your curiosity and exploration is what allows you to be open.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this clip and that you'll take a moment now to like and subscribe to this channel, to leave me a comment, to say hi, and to have an amazing rest of your day. And why not think about watching one of these other videos?